I can tell you how I was invited to the Senate. We were rehearsing for a concert at there are two great theaters downtown in Kelowna. We were rehearsing for a concert at one of them. And the rehearsal had been going on for quite a while, and it was about 3:30 in the afternoon. No, it was 4:30. It was 4:30 in the afternoon, and we hadn't had any lunch. So we stopped to go get a bowl of soup, and the closest place was about a block and a half away. It was a bar in an old brick building. I forget the name of it. And we went in there, and I decided while I was there that I had better phone home and phone my office and get the messages of the day. And I asked the bartender if I could use, and we weren't drinking, we were having soup. And I asked if there was a payphone. He said no, but he said you can use this phone behind the bar. And I said, well, it's long distance. He said, it's okay, you'll charge it to another number, which I did. So I called home and got my messages from my office, and one of them was, would you please call the Prime Minister's office on a matter of some importance? I thought it was a joke. And when I called that night, so I thought, well, I'd better call. It was 4:30 in Kelowna, which means that it was 7:30 at night in Ottawa. So I called the number, and a lady answered, and I said, I've got a message to call this number to speak to the Prime Minister. And she said, oh yes, just a moment. Mr. Banks, just a minute, please. And then the Prime Minister, Jean Chrétien, came on the line. I really thought that it was Rich Little doing an elaborate joke. But in fact, it was Jean Chrétien. And he asked if I would accept a seat in the Senate. This is completely out of the blue. And I said, well, one of the things I said was, because Mr. Chrétien was a Liberal, I said, I'm currently a card-carrying, paid-up member of the Progressive Conservative Party. And he said, I know that. And you can sit wherever you like, but I need to know if you will accept an appointment to the Senate. And he said, I need to know now, because I need you to be seated if you can next week, and I'm leaving for Israel on Monday. And so this is the only important thing I've ever done in my life without consulting my wife. I said yes. That's how I became a senator. Now, why I became a senator, why he made that phone, because I didn't know him, he didn't know me from Adam, I wasn't a member of his party at the time, I am now. I wasn't particularly politically active, and my political activities had been when I worked for Joe Clark in the Yes campaign on the referendum to change the Constitution, and on some appointments that Michael Wilson, who was the progressive conservative, big difference, finance minister, had appointed me to some advisory boards when we were negotiating the free trade agreement. And Prime Minister Mulroney had appointed me to the Canada Council. So my political experience had been entirely in conservative regimes. But he said, Mr. Chrétien said, you can sit wherever you like in the Senate. I just want you to be there. I don't know how it would be possible to say no unless you had some principled aversion to it, and I didn't. I understood, I will immodestly say, better than most Canadians because of previous experience, what the Senate did and how it worked. Most of us don't have the faintest idea how the Senate actually works and what the Senate actually does. I did because of a previous story that involved the Senate, and when they made a very important decision that happened to be one that I had worked for and agreed with.